Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Mantho, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a quick little Death Knight guide, because I know a few of you guys have been having some trouble. But anyways, I hope this guide helps you guys out, and if it does, toss a thumbs up. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you guys next time. Alright, guys, so first off, you basically you could run up to your target and put a Plague Strike. So Plague Strike will apply your Necrotic Plague, and then it'll start stacking it up. And if you put Plague Strike again, it'll stack it up even more. And then from here, you can go into spamming Howling Blast, till you get those Necrotic Plagues up, and then Plague Strike again to get it up. And then right here is when you would burst. I can't grip this guy because it's a target dummy, but if you want to use a lot of upfront damage and just pump out a lot of burst, your 4-set bonus, where is it? Not your 4-set, your 2-set bonus increases the damage of your next weapon special attack by 25% whenever you death grip. So this means, well, my stacks fell off, but this means once you have those stacks built up really high, you could death grip your target, and then you could just nuke him down really quick. Let me just see if I can show you guys here real quick. Alright, so the 2 Plague Strike, Howling Blast, and then here is where I would Plague Strike again, and then I would pop my pillar right here, and then I would just dump in all my Frost Strikes right here, just like that. Literally, that's all you have to do, guys. Like, it is really simple. And then after that, you could just go into dumping some more Howling Blast and Plague Strike, and then back to Frost Strike dumping. You always want to dump with Frost Strike on your runic power, because it does, in the long run, it does a lot more damage when you're stacking your dots up with Frost Strike. And your Frost Strikes also reduce some of your rune cooldowns, so you could get some runes faster. Obliterate you don't really want to use, because it does not do as much damage in the long run. I mean, up front it might, but it doesn't get you those big stacks that you need. Also, macros, really quick, Death Knights do not have any really big macros. The only main one right here is Frost Strike. You have Frost Strike and Blood Tap. So while you're dumping out your Frost Strikes, you just want to make sure you have this on your bars instead of your regular Frost Strike. You want to use your Frost Strikes, and then when you reach to 5 charges, your Blood Tap will proc, so this way you get your runes back. I just have Pillar of Frost, my potions, whatever I yell, and some toys in there. Make sure you have your Pillar of Frost and Trinket in there for the main part though, guys. For your stats, you want to be stacking as much mastery as you can. You want to go mastery all the way. This way your Frost Strikes do a bunch of damage. You can just one-shot someone. Mastery is your main stat. And then after Mastery, you want to use Versatility, because it increases your damage and healing. So this way you can heal more, but it increases the damage that you do. So on top of your Mastery doing damage, your Versatility is stacking up with it and increasing your damage again. And so as goes for Obliterate, you don't really want to use Obliterate unless you are maybe fighting another Death Knight and they have anti-magic show up, because you would use Obliterate in this kind of situation because Frost Strike is magical, and anti-magic shell, it absorbs magical damage. So then during this time you could probably dump out a Obliterate 1 or 2 just to throw in a little bit more pressure in there, just to help you out a little bit more and get some damage out. Other than that, you shouldn't really have to use Obliterate in any kind of situation. Just build up your stacks, Howling Blast, and then Burst, Death Grip, and pop your Frost Strikes. And that's basically how you just dump everyone down. Another thing to keep in mind, guys, if you switch to Frost Presence, to Blood Presence, maybe Unholy Presence a lot, and you don't have Shifting Presence, keep in mind that you're losing all that runic power, literally all of it, unless you have this glyph. So if you're not running this glyph, sometimes it is not worth it to switch to your other stances, because you just won't have enough damage to pump out. And as for healing goes, usually what I'll do is I'll go up to my target and I'll Plague Strike, and then I'll Death Siphon. So Death Siphon twice, not Death Siphon, Death Strike twice, and then Death Siphon. And then, since I had my Necrotic Plague up, I could Plague Leech, because it just requires dots. And then I'll Death Siphon, and then Death Strike. And then I can Death Siphon one last time, and then my Death Siphon just came up again, so I can get a lot of heals off. And another cool thing is, if I have Pillar Frost up and I'm low, I could pop Pillar of Frost and my healing will be increased, because it increases your healing and your damage. So this could increase your healing by like almost double, I would say. And also, if you pop Lichborn, this also, it'll make you immune to charms, fears, and sleeps, but it also increases your heals by 10% through Leech. So that's also really good. You also want to be running this glyph right here, Empowerment, because it heals you and it gives you your runic back, but we'll talk about that later. But about the healing, that can also keep you alive, because if you, okay, let me just waste these runes right here. So just waste all my runes. And then, so let's say I have no runes, Plague Leech isn't up, I could just pop this, it'll heal me for 30% and it gives me my runes back. And then now I could just go back to healing. That's pretty much all you need for healing. I mean, it's pretty simple. Alright, let's move on to glyphs now. Alright, so for glyphs, you always want to be running runic power glyph, because let's say you're fighting anyone that can slow, which I'm pretty sure every single class in this game can slow. So you're a Death Knight, you always get slowed, you're trying to keep up to your target with Chains of Ice. So while you're getting slowed, you're also building runic power, so once you get to your target, you can just Frost Strike dump on them. And Empowerment, like I said, it heals you a lot, which is very helpful, and it gives you your runes back, so this could help you dump some more damage in or dump some more healing. I like to run Anti-Magic Shell glyph because it increases the duration of it, and if I'm fighting other Death Knights, let's say 1v1, maybe 2v2s, like I said earlier in the video, they cannot Frost Strike me, which is their really big damage. This way I can try to keep some of that big damage away. It's also really good against casters, of course. And usually if you want to swap out a glyph, you keep these two, and you can swap out Anti-Magic Shell with Icy Touch. You can swap it out with Icy Touch to this spell, or you can swap it out with Shifting Presence. Those are the only two that I would really recommend switching out. I mean, you could try some of the other ones, but I'm pretty sure Icy Touch and Shifting Presence are the only ones worth switching out with Anti-Magic Shell. As for talents, guys, for first tier, you always want to be running Plague Leech. It's just, these two, you could literally just cross them out. You don't want to run either of them. Right now, Plague Leech is just the way to go. It is the best. And for second tier, you could try Anti-Magic Shell, or not Anti-Magic Shell, but Anti-Magic Zone. I guess it could be decent, but it is nowhere near as good as Lichborn. Lichborn makes you immune to fear, charm, and sleep, and it increases your healing. This is definitely the way to go. You do not want to run Purgatory. Just if you could delete it off your talents, you would do that, because Purgatory, you're literally, if you're fighting a Death Knight, they're gonna make fun of you if you're running this. For third tier, mainly you want to be using Chillbanes and Asphyxiate. Asphyxiate to stun your target, and Chillbanes to slow. Also, it'll give you your Silence, Strangulate right here. I do not recommend using Death's Advance, because it is nowhere near as good as Chillbanes and Asphyxiate. These are just better options to go with, guys. Alright guys, for fourth tier, you don't really want to run Runic Empowerment. This one was more for two-hander Frost Decay, so you could spam out more Obliterates, but now you don't really need it as much. For dual wield, you could run Runic Corruption. It's pretty good, but I think the best one right now is Blood Tap. So once you start dumping out all your Frost Strikes, you build up to 5 Blood Tap charges, and then this way you'll get some runes back. You'll get a Death Rune, and this one it'll be so much better because you can dump out more damage, more healing, literally more everything. And since you're dumping out your Frost Strikes, these runes will come quick. For 5th tier, you could just take Conversion out of here. You don't even want to look at it. Death Siphon is definitely the way to go. It is the better heal, plus it is range. It is really good, and if it crits, it could heal you for so much. It does alright damage, but the healing is mainly what it's about. And Death Pact, okay. You could run this, but the bad thing is that it makes you absorb the next heal that you get. Not the next heal, but the next heals that you get. 25% of it for 15 seconds. And that's not really good if you're running at high rated. But I guess you could run it because it gives you the 50% max health. For 6th tier, all I have to say is take out Remorseless Winter, take out Gorfreen's Grasp, just use Desecrated Ground. All around, it's the best. It takes you out. It's another trinket to go for your Death Knight. It is all around better. Takes you out of roots. It takes you out of anything. Remorseless Winter is definitely not as good. I mean, you have to let it stack up, and you have to stand next to your target. It's just a big hassle, and you already have your stun and your slow, so it's just not worth going with. And if you're running with the stun, it'll DR it, so it's not even that good. Gorfreen's Grasp, it just pulls enemies around. You mainly just want to run this if you're doing PvE. For PvP, I definitely do not recommend it. For your last tier, Breath of Cindergrosa, it does alright damage for dual wield, but it doesn't do nearly as much damage over time as Necrotic Plague does. Once you stack up this Necrotic Plague, it does so much damage, guys. Breath of Cindergrosa has no chance on it unless you're trying to do some like upfront burst right there for like a burst video or something like that. The file is just not good at all. It replaced your Death Pact, not Death Pact, but Death and Decay, which you could use for AoE to take out stealthies, and then like the AoE on it, it doesn't even do any damage. It's terrible, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this guys answered some of your questions and helped you guys out. And if it did, make sure to toss a thumbs up. Anyways, guys, as always, have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.